Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get Your Life, the podcast, episode 2. I'm your host, Eric. Get Your Life.
It's me, Davina.
And it's me, Heather.
Thank y'all for joining.
Of course. Such a pleasure being here with you, Eric.
I was talking about everyone else that was joining us.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we got over to episode 1. Thank everybody for tuning in. We're coming with episode 2, and we're gonna talk about doing too much too early in a relationship. And we're talking about a relationship, and I'm talking about too early. I'm talking about like the first month or so, right? Doing too much. So don't confuse the two. Dating and relationships are not the same, right? Dating is the lead up to the relationship. There's a difference, in my opinion, right?
So do you have
we
to
talk
wait
about
for
a relationship?
Do you have to wait for that for the guy to be like, "Oh, you're my girlfriend now," before it's that, or?
If depends on if we're talking to grade school kids.
I'm just asking.
Well, how do you know when you cross that line from dating to being in a relationship? Do you have that talk, or is it whenever he introduces you to his friends, instead of saying hey, this is Heather, my girlfriend, or this is my lady, Heather? Is that how men, from a man's point of view?
No, I hear you.
How do we know we crossed that line?
You cross that line. First, that's very good point. If he's introducing you to the friends, generally that means that he sees you more than just someone he's dating, because he's not introducing everybody he's dating to his homies.
Yeah,
not happening. It's not happening. What?
They are.
They are.
And even the mamas meet the wives, the girlfriends. Yes.
Look, you just try to, it's out there. It's out there.
No, you're not meeting all the homies. I mean, you're not meeting all the homies.
Look, I've met a lot of the homies, okay? And it's never been anything more than just a casual date. Like, if he around and he say, pull up, you can't expect him to be like, oh, this is my girlfriend to all the homies.
But I think that's when he introduces you. How he introduces you. This is my friend. Then it's friend.
Well, if he's introducing you as this is my friend, then we got a problem right there. You already know what the answer is. You don't have to.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Is that a car? But yeah,
So yeah, I think it's how he introduces you.
And most of the time, I don't think, like, when you're dealing with a man, he'll let you know. You don't have to have a talk, and it's not a, oh, you my girl now sort of say thing. It's now we're going on vacations together, right? We're doing things that you weren't doing when you were dating. He's spending more time with you. And if you're in the dark and you don't know, then that's a problem too. Like, you should know. You should be able to have a conversation about what's going on next.
And that's why I think it's a confusion with women, because you say that, right? But when, like, a guy acts like he's your boyfriend, like he expects you to do all the girlfriend things, and then he'd be like, oh, no, that's just my friend. Well, I thought no, we got to have that conversation. I need to know if I'm your girlfriend or if I'm
But you can't be mad if you're doing all those girlfriend things.
And you
for something you have not had that conversation.
And you haven't had that
exactly.
conversation.
But how many guys have girlfriends out there that they didn't know that it was their girlfriend?
How many guys have a girlfriend
out
there?
Well, no, because that's when I'm meeting a guy, I don't ask him if he has a girlfriend. I ask him if there's any women out there that think that they're your girlfriend.
Exactly. That's how it has to be worded nowadays.
Because he could be having sex with a girl, taking her on dates. He could be doing everything.
All that.
They take these random trips. They never had a discussion because he's just dating, because he wants to be able to date.
That's her boyfriend.
But she is under the impression that
that's her boyfriend.
This is my man. But they never had that conversation. I mean, shit, they could even have that conversation. But then that's when he's a dog.
But this is why I said females, we need that clarification though. So, like, a guy try to beat around a bush and they act like they don't want to have that conversation. But me, I need to know.
You can't let them beat around the bush. You have to. No, you can't. Like, now you're 3-4 months in and you still don't know where you stand.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So we definitely have to pull his whole card and find out what's going on. You have to have.
And you got to be ready for what's going to be revealed.
Absolutely.
You can't be mad at nobody but yourself.
100%. But you're saying that you can't just know. Like, a man is gonna know. You do have to have sort of a conversation, but you're also gonna know, right? You're not gonna feel like he's spending time somewhere else. He's spending time with you. What?
I'm just saying, it's just, I think that the guys that are in the Bay Area is just.
Oh, God. You're going to have to quit dogging the dudes in the Bay Area.
But I'm
going to tell you what.
They'll have you so confused for so long.
It's not a Bay Area thing.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
and women are the same way. But I talk to a lot of women that'll say this: no matter what state they're in, no matter what city they're in, no matter what location they're in, they're gonna say the same thing. So we not just gonna kill the men in the Bay Area. This is a sounds like
Okay,
it's just a universal thing.
98.9% of the men in the Bay Area. Here, I gave them a little bit.
But no, remember our last podcast? I said I'm speaking from my own experiences. So this is from my own experience from dating guys from the Bay Area. They will have you confused for a long time, and when you ask them, what are we? They be like, oh, we ain't got to get all into that. Like, why you?
So maybe they shouldn't have you confused for a long time, right? Maybe you should talk about these things up front instead of now being 3-4 months in and you in your feelings because he hasn't said you're officially my woman and you're doing things that are woman-like.
Yeah.
And he's not reciprocating those things, right? And you don't feel like he's accepted him as your man. He's just accepted him as a man, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, it does, but I'm just saying they just don't do that these days. But go ahead.
It's not.
Sorry, we kind of went a little too deep into that.
No, there's nothing wrong with going deep because you're passionate about
No,
this.
no, there's
you got
not.
some feelings out.
Go deep.
That's another topic.
I thought it kind of went
not
in with
today.
it.
Not today. Not today.
Oh shit! But yes. Okay, sorry. Keep going. We just took that dating and relationship because it's serious. It's
It really
real
does.
though.
But then,
I've been confused before. Like we're talking every day. We hang out all the time, and I'm still not your girlfriend. Then what are we doing?
Getting to know each other?
Yeah, but for how long?
That's different for every person, and that's what I'm saying. It's a conversation. First, you need to find out
If
what
he has
what are we-
intentions.
what are his intentions, and is he dating with a purpose? What is a purpose? Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
And those are conversations that need to be talked about up front. And I feel like when you get into relationships, financial conversation needs to be had because you want to make sure they got financial intelligence, right? So if you want to have a long-term relationship and maybe build into something, if you guys are dating with the same purpose, right?
Absolutely. Well, that's the difference between dating and relationships.
So there is a difference between dating and relationships.
Absolutely.
Some people don't think so. Some people think dating and relationships is the same thing. Like you can go on a bunch of dates, and if no one is talking about, hey, we're in a relationship, you can date 4 or 5 people at the same time, and it's all just
I don't
dates.
think I'd be able to be a player like that.
Is
That's
it
not being
is
a
it
player,
is
though.
it being a player though?
No.
Because you have to have your options. Because, like you just said, nobody's having a conversation with you. You're doing things for a guy you have no idea where it's leading to, right? So you have to have. I think you have to have your options, right? You
Absolutely.
have to. What you think, Heather?
Oh, no, yeah.
She
Gotta
told
have
me
your
that
options.
last year. She was like, you can't put all your eggs in one
You
basket.
can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Look, check this out. I don't know how to be like, oh, I'm just coming from Eddie's house and I'm about to go over Jaquan's house, but I can't be telling like,
Whoa.
I don't know how to.
You don't know how to do it. You just do it.
No.
Right? Are you? You're not having sex with all these guys, obviously. You're not dating 4 or 5 people and having sex with 4 or 5 people.
I'm not.
No.
Oh, okay. Right. We're not doing that.
I mean, but you can.
No, you can, but you're not doing that.
No.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
No, so the thing with dating is I'm not a big dater neither. Like, if I'm into you,
I'm gonna talk to
I
you.
want to, that you are who I want to invest my
Exactly.
time in.
Right.
But so like dating is really not a thing that I like. I like, listen, I'm into you, you into me. Okay, what are we gonna do? Let's see now.
Oh yeah, she for sure do that.
I do.
Right.
And so
I'd be
when
like,
this whole
no,
like
not right
doing
now.
too much in a month or whatever the case. No, like I'm
You're
35
2
years
feet
old.
in. You're 2 feet in.
Well, when I know that I like you and then you're reciprocating the emotions back.
100%. That's the
Then
key
I'm like,
word
okay.
you said was he's giving you that same energy back.
Yeah. So now what are we doing?
Exactly.
Now we need to be having a conversation. Now we're
Right.
not dating anymore.
So I don't
Are we
care
in
if
a
I just met you
relationship?
yesterday. Listen, I exaggerated. Golly.
Slow down.
I
That's
be
the thing.
telling her,
Stop
I be
doing too
telling
much.
her.
Slow your ass down. We
Yeah, I
have
be
time.
telling her, just
We have time.
chill.
We got
just
time.
chill.
We got
Sometimes
time.
she listens to me. Sometimes she do, but most of the time
You'll-
she be on her own.
You'll waste a lot less. You'll waste a lot less of your life that way, right?
So no, I
Take
just
the
like
time, have the conversations,
Yeah.
learn the people you're dealing with.
because I don't like to date multiple people. I really don't.
And a lot of people are like that. But
I'm like that.
the reality of the situation is we're in a time where you almost have to. Am I right? Because
No.
what I'm hearing from you guys is you'll date one guy.
Yeah.
He can ghost you. The guy I thought was solid with Day, you was like, he was pretending to be solid. And then you found out a month, 2 months later, he just wasn't solid, right? So you have to have some options.
And
I feel
he
like
asked me to be his girlfriend.
he asked you to be his girlfriend, but he had 3-4 girlfriends, or he had another girlfriend. So you have to. I think you
Wait.
keep your options open.
Who you think?
I don't know.
We're not gonna talk about who it was,
Yeah.
but we know it happened.
Exactly.
So I feel like you have a conversation, and I think you should let the person know. We both should be open. You both should be open about
Your
what we're
feelings.
doing.
I
Like
think you
if you're
should-
seeing other people, if you're dating other people, you have to let that man know, right? I'm dating other people, and he, as a man, is gonna say, okay, I'm what? He's gonna date you, or he's gonna say, all right, I'm cool. I can't do it. I'm gonna get somebody else, and he's gonna go through this rotation. What?
They're just not that understanding.
Then they're not for you.
Then they're not for you.
Absolutely not. Like if they're like they meet you and then all of a sudden you're telling them you're dating, and then he has the audacity to get mad or even feel like he has a say so as to who you are dating. If he wants to change that, then
he's
he
gonna
needs
make
to
you
change
his
that.
woman. He's gonna
Exactly.
change-
And he's gonna do right by you.
Exactly.
That's 100%. That's what. Men. That's what we need to do.
That's the perfect
if we feel like we don't want you to date somebody else, we should make that change. Like,
Absolutely.
Like the man that doesn't want his girl to see anybody else, what does he do? He makes
Right.
he makes her his
happy.
wife.
Oh, but
Right? No, he makes her his wife.
yeah. I
So
guess.
she can
He wants
stay
to
in the
make
house
sure.
and then he can go do what he want to do. But he
Hey,
that's
we're not talking about infidelity on this.
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole
though.
other
That's
topic. That's not what we're talking about. We talk about doing too
No,
much
the
too
thing
early.
with the thing with I would have to say with Day and I is that we've had long-term relationships, but obviously our relationships had not been successful.
Right.
And most of it, I would have to say on my end, is because of me. I've allowed certain behavior because I felt like I wanted to show you I could be everything that you need.
And that's
you
a
don't
key.
need nobody.
Yeah.
So like
That's key.
all this, like some men aren't going to be men. That their character, not everybody's the same. It's my fault. So that's where it goes into like
Accountability is the first thing. Like you take a lot of
Absolutely.
accountability, and because it's not the man's fault every time, right? And it's not, even when it is his fault, it's not only his fault because you saw all the red flags up
Yeah.
front. You knew he was
And
you knew he was
ignored him.
garbage,
And
and you
ignored
ignored him and jumped in both feet
Exactly.
anyway and roll with it.
I was
So-
also a party animal, so I was meeting these dudes at the club. I mean,
And
well,
that's
there's
the-
a
But
I
back
mean,
then,
this
those are
is-
lessons
this
that
is-
was being
right,
learned.
right,
Exactly.
right.
So
Right, right,
now
right.
it's like when you go.
Now it's different, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to see contenders, but yeah, that's a
So I would have to say it's not the man's fault.
not all the time, but then at the same time, when do you get to that point where you can ask those questions? Like I know you said there's no time limit, but it's like there should be some sort of minimum time.
when
There's-
you're asking what kind of questions.
These
I think
questions, like, what are we doing?
When he starts expecting you, when a man starts expecting you to do the things that a girlfriend would do for him.
What's that? Cooking dinner?
Cook my dinner. Like
Sex.
we're not dating. This is
Dinner,
a
but
relationship.
sex.
Sex
yeah.
all the time. Sex all the time. We going on vacations. Like these are things. These are relationship things.
Time.
These are not dating things. Dating things is we're gonna go to dinner. We're not coming to the house. That's not a dating thing, right? We're going out. We're gonna go to the movies. We're gonna go out to the park. We're gonna do things outside. Relationship. We're gonna do everything.
But there's
We gonna get
nothing
the
wrong.
vacations.
If you meet a man, right? You meet a guy, and you're vibing. There's nothing wrong with asking him what does he want? What is he looking for?
Not that there's nothing wrong. You should be doing that.
You absolutely from first date.
You should be doing that. You
I
wanna
think you
know,
could for the
you
first
wanna
date.
know. You want to know what's going on. What are
What's
his intentions?
mindset?
What's his
Yeah,
mindset?
where's his mindset
Where's
at?
he been? What's his past? What has he been doing?
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
asking on first date. Nothing.
Want to know. Want to know. So many times people just jump into these relationships, both feet, 2 feet in, and the person that they're dating or seeing does not reciprocate those same
Yeah.
feelings and the same effort, right? So many times that's happened.
know.
And it's not, sometimes it's not, like it's not even wanted by the other person. Like they're like, hold on, baby, you got to slow down. Like I don't want you to come
Exactly.
to my house. I don't want you to come cook me something. Like I just want you to be there when I call you. Like that's part of
And if you
that's
allow
dating.
it-
dating.
Yeah, that's not a boyfriend.
But that happens in a relationship, right? It happens in a relationship too.
yeah,
Yeah, but if you allowing that, say like, okay, that's the tone for 4 months, and then now you're like, oh, I want more. But if you're not talking about it and you have set that tone for the 4 months, then how if you go to have that conversation with him, he's content, obviously, because if that's the case, he would have expressed it, right? He would have wanted more. He would have showed more. Like, I want more of your time. I want more than just me just calling you and you be available. First of all, you just ain't gonna call me and I'm just gonna be available.
Not
like,
back in the day, I would have.
But are we talking
today's
about
day? Absolutely not.
dating, or are you in a relationship and you're not
talking
there?
about dating, but
Dating,
then like now
dating,
you want
definitely
more.
not,
But if you
definitely
set that tone and you've never expressed and you just let him do whatever he want to do, why would you feel like now you could say what you want and then you get mad or he ain't no shit ass dude because now he don't want to be in a relationship?
Well, we should have found these things out.
Yeah,
front,
absolutely.
Right?
That's why I said
we would have
there's
saved
time with
ourselves
asking
a
these
lot of
people.
heartache, a lot of headache. Like it's all about asking the right questions up front, ladies, men. Like we want to know, is your mind frame the same as mine? Right? Do you want the same things that I want right now? I was watching. And I don't watch TV much. What's that show with Issa?
Blackish?
No.
Issa.
What's this show? Insecure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Insecure.
never
So,
watched that.
Yeah, I watched it last week, and she was dating this guy. One of her friends was dating this guy, and he was like, "Yeah." She assumed that he was going on dates because he was taking phone calls while they were together, and they never. I guess it was like 3 months. They never had a talk about what they were actually doing. So he was going on dates, and she was in her feelings the rest of the show because she wasn't and he was. So that's why having that conversation is key.
Just like that though, like women, we would rather just deal with that one person and get to know that one person rather than having all these multiple different people that we have to juggle around.
Well, I think anybody would probably rather do that, but I see women all across the board talking about they're dating multiple people.
Well, now, yeah.
Multiple. What's different now than?
I feel like women don't put up with as much as they used to back in the day.
No, they definitely don't. They shouldn't. They
So
do not put up as much.
Yeah, so now they'll rather date multiple people to see, but I don't know. Like me personally, I I prefer one person at a time.
You know me. I look at you about, yep, come here. Yeah, no. I'm a one person. I'd rather.
It
one
sucks
person.
being like that because, we do get the shorter end of the stick because we can put 4 months, 6 months into one person and then it ends up not working out.
With the potential.
But
the potential.
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
Like at this age, you shouldn't be dating a potential. Like at this age, you shouldn't be.
No.
Actions.
Shouldn't
That's
be dating a potential.
No, it's actions at this point.
Yeah.
He or she has potential. Like I'm hoping that she can do this or he can do this. No, we got to figure those things out up front.
Well, that's why when I speak, I don't speak like as if I know everything about relationships because I don't. I'm
no one
single
does.
now, right?
There's not one person that knows everything
But
about relationships.
in my 20s, in my teens and my 20s, like the things that I've been through, the things that I've allowed, the things that
The
I've
standards
experienced
were way lower
now.
When
we're in our 20s.
you were a kid. You didn't care about the
but now,
things
as a
that you care
woman,
about now.
As a woman, it's like I take those learning experiences and I'm definitely implementing them into, and I think that's why it's so harder to get a solid relationship because the men that we're coming in contact with are still doing the same bullshit.
Absolutely.
And
But you putting up with less of the
I'm
bullshit.
not putting up
though,
shit.
Right?
That's why I don't
You
talk
putting
to
up with
nobody.
less
I
of
don't
the
talk to
bullshit.
nobody.
Oh, yeah, the
absolutely.
timelines are cut
Like,
short.
That's why the
you
phone's
should have had
dry.
enough experience
Yeah.
from
The phone
20
is
from
dry.
now to realize and recognize the bullshit, or at least most of it, because there's some
Absolutely.
bullshit that we can still pull and you're just not ready for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but we have a shorter timeline now. It's
As you should.
yeah.
As you should. So a lot of the times I find that like people get into a relationship and they've been out of the game so long that, and they were in a relationship that was for a long time. They get in with someone else and they didn't learn this new person, and this new relationship becomes just like the old relationship. They treat this new person just like they treated the last person. They do the same things for this new person that they were doing for the last person. Right? They weren't ready.
They weren't ready.
Right, they weren't ready. They're not learning a new person. They're just doing all the same things that they were doing before. Like you have to take a break between dating, right? Mm-hmm. Or relationships, not dating, but between relationships. Get to know yourself a little bit better. And then that's why I say the dating, You know yourself very well.
No, I'm just saying I know that very well.
Yeah, you have to.
I know myself very
You
well.
can't. You can't jump from one relationship.
Like I'm
Said
taking
what?
my time.
What happened?
I've been single since 2016. I'm just taking my time. I'm not in a rush at all.
Right. So there's not going to be a confusion.
I am. My biological time clock is ticking.
What? Oh, biological what?
Time clock is ticking. My biological time. I might want another one.
Oh, okay. You got time.
So no.
You got time. First, let's
No.
find somebody that's even.
That's
even,
what I'm saying. It's
Even
time.
worthy.
I'm not. I'm a relationship person, so I've given myself. Anyway, we'll talk.
Well, that's
we'll
my
talk
point.
about
That's
something
my
getting
point.
to
later.
know
A lot of people
herself right now.
A lot of people are
Absolutely.
relationship people. Like they feel like they have to be in a relationship, so they go from relationship to relationship without learning themselves, without taking the time to figure out what they were doing wrong in the last one. But instead, they jump into that next one and they're treating this new person the same exact way. Where
Right.
this new person doesn't receive love, doesn't receive the things that you do like this last person.
Right.
So you have to figure that out before you jump into another relationship.
And maybe they're
Absolutely.
just the type of people that don't know how to show love.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
they don't. They give themselves time. Oh, they're not giving this new because of how they was treated in their last relationship. So now the next person is not getting what is getting the same treatment like they was getting treated. Some people just really aren't meant to be in relationships, and they should just stay away from people because they be ruining people's lives with their love.
Oh, sound like you
I
got
mean,
triggered.
they got some deep down stuff that they need to fix. No, for real.
From
Yeah, it's true.
dead ass.
No,
like, so
100%.
serious.
Like, no, we talked about it. Mental health and mental health is huge. And dealing with somebody else, bringing somebody else into your life, you got to know where they stand, and you got to know where yourself. You got to know yourself, right?
Absolutely.
You got to be ready for a relationship. You got to be ready to accept someone else in your life, and a lot of
Because
people
they throw that word bipolar out. Like, I'm
Oh,
bipolar.
God.
Okay, well, bring your bipolar ass over here. I'm a bipolar. Okay, let me shut up.
We've
And
minimized
that's-
that word.
and-
which-
See?
and
Now I'm
that's-
bipolar.
Yeah, exactly. But they liked it in the beginning, though. They liked it in the beginning.
they liked your crazy.
They
ass
liked
in
the
beginning.
feistiness in
Don't
the
throw
beginning.
that. Don't
Girl,
throw
you
that
crazy.
bipolar.
You crazy.
Oh, I like it.
Bipolar.
I've never been the crazy type, though, so I don't know. I've always
I
been
have.
pretty cool, pretty chill. But I ain't gonna lie, I done blew up a few phones back in the day, but I ain't doing that shit now.
My very first boyfriend, I ran him over.
I haven't done that.
I think he's on my live. Yeah, he's on my live.
Hey,
I sure he
is he in a wheelchair?
No.
Don't admit it.
He'll
'cause
tell
now
you.
Take your
He'll
ass to
tell you.
court.
He'll tell you.
Don't
ass.
admit it.
She incriminating herself.
He got evidence, bitch.
Oh, God.
Statute
Oh,
of
God.
limitations is
Oh,
over
my
with.
God.
He can't file charges now. I'm safe. Okay.
Hey, in a relationship, is there a probation phase in a relationship? Like that first month of you guys getting together, keep it to yourself. Don't start changing your social medias to in a relationship
Oh,
with
hell
so and so.
no.
Like
Hell no. Don't
stop
post a
posting all the
pic-
pictures.
Do not post
know
a
that
fucking
that's
picture.
don't introduce them to the family or her to the family. Know that that's gonna be something that works out for a long time because I'm just saying you look foolish.
I
You
will
look
just
foolish.
People
when
be
it
changing these
backfires.
relationships
I would
like they
just
do
say-
their panties.
But some people don't change their panties.
Oh.
But
All I just seen was crust, must. It just was gross. My vision was just.
no, serious. Like it's a probation phase for a reason.
But I feel like the first 30 days, I don't think that they should count only because they're fake. Like I don't feel like he's telling you basically what you want to hear for the first.
Yes, that's my point
whatever,
about the first 30 days of
Yeah,
a relationship. But we've already went dating.
Yeah.
2-3 months, right?
Yeah.
So that's the time when we should be learning each other. We should be
Right.
learning about each other. And then that first month of dating, I think you should still be learning about each other.
Yeah, you
right?
learning, but you got to be able to dissect what the fuck is really going on
Right.
versus what he's telling you.
So that dating phase to now we're in a relationship phase, you should be able to pick up a lot of the red flags then, right?
Yeah, like if he's never with his kids or if he's never, those are the type of things you got to pay attention to.
If he's never with his kids.
Stuff like that I be paying attention to.
But what if they the kids live out of state?
Well, that's different. But during the summertime, I don't know.
Well, I have to disagree. I got to disagree.
With what?
Because my daughter's father is a great dad. But he's not he doesn't see Tiana every day. Doesn't see her every weekend. He doesn't have a particular time. But if Tiana wants or calls him, he's there anytime. But that doesn't make him less of a father just because he's not physically there, if that makes any sense.
It definitely does. It definitely makes sense.
So I don't want to take, like, if he's not, the dad's not spending time with the kids, I don't think that makes him less of a father.
You know what?
But
I would have to disagree only because I wish that I would have had those experiences with my father. Granted, it was because, you know, my mom kept us away or whatever. But, like, if I would have had my dad physically there to teach me the things that a father is supposed to teach a girl, you know, like, you know, you're beautiful. You don't have to expect less from a man. Like, there's certain things that a dad can teach their kid
100%.
that I feel like you need a physical presence there.
But were you able to call your dad anytime and he would be there? So, see, that's the difference.
Listen,
Not until I got to, like, 18. Oh, yeah.
We're getting off track, but I'm glad you guys brought that up because it's a really big part of dating.
Parents there.
It's really a big part of dating, right? It's really a big part of dating when you have kids, and most of us have kids, right?
Yeah.
So, single parents, your kids don't ever have to meet somebody you dating.
No.
Like,
And don't have hella people coming through.
no, nobody should be coming to the house. I mean, with the kids there, that's right.
No.
Your kids do not have to meet anybody that you're dating, and whoever you are dating should respect that. And if they can't, then we know that, boom, they should be out the door.
But I mean, okay, so if you're a single parent, right? They don't, if you're comfortable to bring them to your house, just like during the day,
Right.
hey, let's do, like, I don't know, whatever. Come to your house, but your kid or your kids are there. They don't have to be introduced as your boyfriend or your girlfriend or somebody you're dating. That could be a simple friend. Me personally, I want to know how you're going to interact with my kids. Like, I want to know if my kids like you. I want to know if, like, if you could communicate. Can you I need to see the interaction. Like, because kids,
They're the ones.
vibe, they sense when someone ain't right for you.
Absolutely. Jakari, yeah.
So I
sure.
think that if you're dealing with somebody
With
and
kids.
it's you guys know, like, listen, okay, this is gonna be more
We vibing.
exclusive, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's a point when you should introduce in an open, friendly environment. Whether you go to a park, he meets you there. Oh, this is my friend, and then, like, you know, introduce him as a friend, like a random.
Just a random guy.
Right? Mm-hmm. And just like, oh, and then just see, I really do feel like.
But we're in a relationship phase, right? We're in the, all right, this is something serious.
Well, I think
phase,
that should
right?
happen before.
So you think
like
while you're dating.
If it's something that you know that you're going to be serious, someone that's going to be
How
serious.
do you know? Because you don't really make that decision.
Well, but that's where communication comes in. Because if you're dealing with somebody and you both are like, okay, I see us going. I want us to take it to the next, like, let's be exclusive.
Right.
When you're exclusive, you're in a relationship.
100%.
Okay, so when it gets to that point, I feel that's when that's where the kids.
Once you get to that point,
Once you get to
that we're exclusive.
Yeah.
You are my guy. You're my girl. Point. I'm
Let's-
talking before the dating. They're not meeting. Like, kids don't need to meet.
No, I
the
just
guys
said
you're dating.
whenever it gets to that point where you guys want to be exclusive.
That's how you feel, Dave?
Yeah, because I've talked to somebody and my son did not like him at all. And it was the reason why. You know, kids see shit that we do not see. Mm-hmm. But if they don't know how to interact with your kid, this shit ain't gonna go nowhere. Because my kid ain't going nowhere.
So,
Yep.
if he has no children, if he has no kids now, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna date him if he doesn't have a kid, because a guy that doesn't have kid generally
They don't
don't understand.
But I would not date him because he doesn't have a kid.
Okay.
But he has to have good interaction with kids.
Okay.
He can't be like, oh, I fucking hate kids. Then
And we find that out up front. Like,
Yeah.
we don't even have to worry about him
Yeah.
meeting the kids, or we don't have to worry about anything else because you hate kids and I love my kids. So
Exactly.
we
So
don't-
it's not even going to go to the next level.
right.
That part.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but you definitely, the kid, you can't get married to somebody if the kids don't like them.
Shit, Mary, you talking? We can't even have
My
a
mama
relationship.
got married to a couple people, and no, absolutely not.
So yeah, no.
Wow.
If you can't vibe with my kids,
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, my kid, I got one.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got.
Not me. All right. So we've talked a lot about relationships, dating, and things of that nature, and a little bit about some sex. I know you guys have a big opinion on being celibate.
I think it's important. I think when we were talking earlier about taking time for yourself out of each relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't do that my whole dating life up until it's been over a year now, like a year and a half now.
Well, it's something that hopefully
And-
you learn growing up. Like,
Oh no, absolutely.
part
But
of
it was the
growth.
very first time in my life, very first time since dating, and it was because of my sister here, Diana. She's like, you know, take your time, and I really did take my time, and you learn so much if you take sex out of the equation and you focus on yourself. I'm not saying I'm not, and I'm saying it. It's not easy. Oh my God, because I be looking at myself in the mirror, cussing
Look,
myself
today
out. Like,
she was
I
damn near
straight-
cussing the air out, okay?
because I'm frustrated. But that's just normal, right? So what I'm saying is like, but it's very important because you do learn what your real needs are instead of your wants.
Yeah.
You learn yourself emotionally, spiritually, because you're not being
Confused.
you're not being confused, and you're not being occupied by
Just
the
physical.
sex, the physical
Yeah.
part. Now it's not easy, but I think it's very important, especially as I would say even men, because men have emotional
Oh, gosh.
issues.
Yes.
what kind of emotional issues do we have?
Y'all cannot stay. You
stay
can't be
alone.
alone.
We can't be alone.
No.
There are men that can't be alone. There are women that can't be alone also. But that's what I said. There's people that are relationship people that have to be in a relationship from relationship to relationship. They jump from one relationship
Right.
to the
Right.
next. I feel like every time you enter a relationship, you should take some time to learn yourself and learn what mistakes, if you feel any, and if you feel like that last relationship was perfect, you have a problem because now it's over. And I feel like you should learn yourself and learn what kind of mistakes you made. Or
Absolutely.
What are the things, the red flags that you ignored?
Yeah.
That you could have nipped this shit in the bud a long time ago and ended it a long time ago and not spent these 3-4 years. You actually could have ended it a year, 2 years ago.
It stayed as long as it did because she had hope that it was going to change, and that's what she was going off of instead of the actual actions that was going on. I don't want to say just she, but like both of them, you know?
So
No, it was definitely-
celibacy for me, I've never experienced it, but I feel like it is definitely something mental. It takes a
So
strong,
you mean
You have to tell us why, though. Like, why haven't you taken that time for yourself to figure yourself? And you sound like you got it together, but we want to know why.
We know
haven't
you got flaws.
Yeah,
One of them is
we
lying.
We want to know why.
You lie. You lying, Craig.
because I'm also, as a youngster, I was also a relationship person. I was a person that went from relationship to relationship, and I jumped from relationship to a relationship, and I learned later that was a toxic, definitely a toxic trait of mine.
Yeah.
So I've never had the opportunity to just sit back and think or focus on myself to be celibate. Like, and I've never, and to be honest, I've never wanted it.
So you can still find yourself while you're fucking somebody else. That's what I'm getting
That
at.
isn't for your future.
You can. Because just because you're still having sex doesn't mean you're not working on yourself. Just because you're still having sex does not mean you're not working on yourself. Right? No, 100%. You can still work on yourself
Well,
and still
some people
have
can't,
sex.
not me, though.
Yeah, you can.
Still, and we've done it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, people have done it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not something that can't happen. Just because you're still having sex doesn't mean you can't work on yourself.
I think
hard.
it clouds your judgment.
Absolutely.
It clouds your judgment. Whether it's you're working on yourself for the person that you're fucking or whether you're working on yourself for yourself, it's still clouding your judgment because you'll see things in people just because of that physical connection. You'll see or you will ignore things.
Well, because
that
if
would
it's
normally
good-
be right there.
Absolutely, because if it's good, then
You
I should
better
be
be like,
focusing
"Fuck
on
this
myself. And
shit."
I'm sitting over here like, oh, fuck, I need to
And
get
he
some.
call you at
See?
1 a.m. and you
Look.
fucking answer. Who
And I'm trying
cares
to
that
get
he
my-
just went MIA for 24 hours?
Right, and I'm trying
Why?
to get my beauty sleep.
Why don't you
Now
care?
I got to fuck all that shit up because I cannot say no.
No,
Right, I'm about to fucking answer.
I 100% respect people that are like, you know what, I pulled away from sex. I have people that I pulled away from sex for 4 years, 5 years. Like, the strength that takes
couldn't
is
do that one.
phenomenal.
That's a long
But there's
time.
people
That's a
that
long
have done it.
time.
Like, I've been single and practiced celibacy for 4 or 5 years, and the strength that it takes and the focus
It
that it
does.
takes, and you knowing, getting to know yourself, and
Yeah.
actually when you're really learning to know someone when you get involved with someone,
Yeah.
and it's like your eyes are open so much more because you're seeing
Absolutely.
everything else. Remember last time I was talking about the guy leading with the bank account. Like,
Yeah.
you start to see everything else
Yeah.
that matters about a person.
Absolutely.
And not the physical.
Absolutely.
But I think celibacy is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength.
Because everyone would be trying to do it if it was easy. Like, not everyone could do it. It's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Day, how long has it been?
No, we're not going to talk about that.
So before January, it was like 4 months. But I've gone like 9 months. Like, I can go like 9 months, 10 months at a time. It's nothing to me. It's easy because I don't just like.
You're not pressed for sex, and
and I don't need that energy that from the guys that I've been experiencing. I haven't gotten anyone that's made me want it that much. Like, it is what it is. Like, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, fuck it. Like, I'm not about to be stressing over it. But so I can go a long time without it, and I'll be cool. Granted, I might have a little funky attitude sometimes.
Sometimes.
I told her that today. I was like, you take your fingernails be clicking on the dang freaking.
What? Day?
But I can go. But I can. Hey, a man. I don't need no man. I'm just saying like that. Like, I'm content with myself, and I'm cool. So
that's the best thing about being content with yourself.
Yeah, unless somebody brings me, somebody can make me feel. If somebody can make me feel happier than what I feel when I'm by myself, then that's when
fire. That's fire.
Until then,
I like that. That's a
fire.
post.
That's fire.
That's
it's
the
truth though.
That's fire. I might steal that. I might post that.
Go ahead.
You just make sure you give her credit.
Okay, I need my credit though.
Please,
okay.
please.
But no, I think
fire.
I think that's why I've been single for so long, because I haven't found someone that makes me more content with me being by myself. And so I can go a long time without it.
Okay. Are you saying?
No, I'm not talking about me today.
No, you are.
No, I'm
you
not.
are.
No,
you are.
Not how long it's been. We don't care about that.
Can you be celibate?
I am.
She is celibate.
I'm celibate.
Yeah.
She got her own definition of celibacy.
No. I mean, but in my drawer, that's fine, okay?
No, that's fine.
Not.
That's not.
That's just you. That's still just you, right?
Okay,
Whatever's in your drawer is still just you.
What's the time limit? What makes you like? How long is?
Listen, I don't want to talk
is
about
it 1
this
week,
because
2 weeks,
I'm
4
going-
months?
listen.
Like what's the
I've
what
always
definition?
because I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, because I seen a post this dude had posted, and it was a text thread between him and a girl, and the girl was like, oh, he was asking to go over, and she was like, oh, I'm celibate now, and she goes, it's only been 2 weeks, and I'm thinking like,
what do you mean? She's been celibate for 2 weeks. Okay.
I don't think that. I mean,
does that count? Like that's not celibate.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, what do you consider celibacy? So like how long? How long is it? Like, so that's a question I want to know.
Yeah, because like what? But here's my.
I think when you make a conscious effort and a conscious decision to say sex is cut off, and there's no more sex. Like when I'm dating someone, you telling them I'm celibate. So brother, if you still want to date me, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. When you make that conscious decision, that's when it starts. Not you haven't had sex in 2 weeks because you just haven't had sex in 2 weeks. That's not being celibate. That's just you ain't got none.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the timing ain't been right.
That's why I'm like, I think it comes into play where like she could have just started it. Yeah. And as long as she don't be like, oh, well, I've been celibate for 2 weeks and then she give it up, you're not celibate anymore.
She just ain't got no ass in 2 weeks because nobody's been there to do the things that she like.
But if you mentally put yourself in that position, like, okay, I'm celibate, I'm not about to be giving it up to just anybody. It is what it is. Like, I think that's when it comes into place.
And that's when the focus on you and the focus on a relationship becomes so much stronger. Yeah. Because you're going in not basing it off the physical. It's everything else that they bring to the table, and it's not like one of you guys said. It's not clouding your mind. The sex and the intimacy, and I mean, we can still be intimate, right? If you're celibacy, you can still.
That's hard because I might.
It's hard,
like,
but I mean, I could do it.
Like,
I could do that.
Should the person you're dating not expect to be intimate? Like, should they be like?
I think if you tell
them, are you blue balling them every I don't know.
I think that if you tell them that you're celibate, they need to respect that decision.
100%.
And they don't need to tempt you in a sense of if we're in an intimate situation and he's just like trying to force it up on you, like, dude, I told you that this is not, you know, like this is not where I wanted to
So
go.
celibacy
so
means,
you need to respect it.
Okay, so celibacy means no physical contact, no turning you on.
I mean, no, kissing and stuff is fine, but I don't think we should be full blown making out, humping each other.
Kissing could be passionate though. Kissing could be more than sex sometimes.
You can have a.
Yeah.
What?
Can I say that
What'd you
word?
say,
Can I
Heather?
say the O word?
What? Oh,
Orgasm.
orange.
Yeah.
Orange.
Orgasm. Orange-gasm.
So you say no kissing because kissing can be more passionate than sex.
Have you ever kissed somebody and like have tingle?
Absolutely.
Hello.
But that's what I'm saying. He should respect. He should
could
respect
do that.
it. But he has to respect the.
Yeah.
So
it's just
respect
more
the space.
the insert
Yeah. No,
part.
It's just penetration.
Yeah.
no, all of it. Period. Though, because if you're kissing and making out, it's gonna go to the. If you like that person, it's probably gonna go. It's gonna get hard to say no when you
There's
like
other
that
things,
person.
Here,
though, right?
my question is though, celibacy. Is there physical contact? Is there kissing? Is like when you're saying your
just no
celibacy,
sex?
is everything else allowed?
I say
'Cause
no.
I don't know.
I say we can kiss, but not like. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Everything else is
could
allowed.
go. You just can't. We just not penetrating.
There's just no penetration. There's no
So
sex.
you'll-
What about oral?
No, absolutely not.
Heather says yes.
Yeah. yes. No, it should not.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I don't think so because no.
Because you don't have self-control. But if you're having my thing is that, okay, sex is great, right? But if a man could touch they could touch you. You could have more of a, like a, what word is that I'm using? Just by a man's touch. If he touches you right, he kisses you right, he caresses you right, he don't have to necessarily fuck you, excuse my French, to make you.
What you say in French?
The F word.
Oh.
He doesn't have. I get it. I get that. That's
I-
why
that-
you
and
don't
that's what
need
I
to
crave.
do it. But that's
what
why
I
you
crave.
don't need to even tempt yourself. And if I tell you that I'm celibate, don't put me in no situation where it's going to, because I'm probably going to regret it later because I'm like, fuck, I gave it up to him and I really was trying to hold, like,
It's okay.
don't put
Let
me in a
me ask you
situation
this.
like
Let
that.
me ask you this. So you're celibate. You've been dating. Now, when do we change that? When
That was
do you,
my question.
when do you say, all right, now it's time to give it the draws? When does that happen?
After I have a good feeling that that's not all he's after.
I mean, for us, is it hard for men to like not still pretend that it's not
No.
all we want?
It's easy for
It's
y'all
easy,
to do that
right?
shit. Absolutely.
So
but you
when
know.
do you, okay, you know,
Like,
you know,
I mean, yeah, I feel like you do.
you know.
I don't know.
That's the
So
thing.
are you celibate until you get married? Are you celibate until like you
No,
get in
I
a
don't
want- I don't wanna have-
long-term relationship?
I would not get married to somebody that I have
That
not
was
done
my
to
thing.
do
Like,
with.
I need to know what you're working with. I need to
Absolutely
know
not.
if like we got chemistry.
Absolutely not.
So my thing is that I just don't want to have casual
sex.
I just don't want that physical clouding my mental and, you know, like my spiritual. Like, I need that to be on point. Once that's on point and we're on the same level, then we can take it there.
Yeah, I feel like it'll weed out a lot of the no goods.
Yeah.
It'll weed out,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, they ain't gonna last.
Even if you're not celibate and you use that as a deterrent, like guys will be like, bruh, I'm out. Like I was trying to hit that because you seen that ass. I was trying to get in that. But when you start talking that celibacy, they like, well, she might be serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she might be serious, and
Only
I don't have the
a
time
real
to find
man
out.
only
But
a real man.
I mean, real men might do the same thing too, like that, because real men want to hit too,
I'm
right?
saying somebody that respects it.
But
and somebody
you find
that
out,
is-
you find out who really respects it, and you find out
Absolutely,
who really wants to get to know you, who wants to really have sex right here and right here.
Yeah,
right? Who wants to hit?
exactly.
And when I say right here, and you're not watching it, it's your mind and your heart. Like you find out who really wants to get to know you for who you are,
and not
right?
just that. Because
yeah.
I mean,
Celibacy.
the older that I'm getting, that we get when David and I have conversations, is that that's important. It's important to be mentally to be spiritually fulfilled by a man.
Rather
Not
than just
fulfilled because I
physically.
don't need you to feel me, but
Right.
to be on that same level with the communication. Like, cause anybody could just have sex, right? You could just have sex and you don't have no communication at all. You take sex out of the equation.
We've all
what
just-
else do you got to give?
That's a good
Now
question.
that we're older, that's not a necessity at this point to
Right.
get us to that next level. Back then, it was like whatever. Now it's like, no, I got to know that this is not all that you want, and that we can. I don't know. We have a mental connection versus that physical connection just fucks it all. It will.
Nothing
have
wrong
you
with a
just-
physical connection. Like,
Ain't
you
nothing-
want that
no,
physical
you have
connection.
to.
You
You
do.
need that
You
physical
do,
connection.
but it will.
But if that's all you have, when
Fuck it
when that's all
up.
said and done, what else do you have? What's going to keep you going? Because physical sex could only go so far.
I think those times, those nights, those days when you guys can just do everything except have sex. That's what you really have, right?
Yeah.
The times
Yeah.
you doing nothing sexually. That's when you really have it. And then now you've been celibate for 4 months, 5 months with this person, and now you have sex finally, and it was the wackest sex you ever had in your life. Now what?
Piss the fuck off.
You know, but
'Cause you-
no, because we had a conversation in the car the other day,
Shit.
and you was like, "Well, the first time is not always the best,
Boom.
only because you,
gotta bring
don't
it back.
physically know that person,
Or
You
sometimes
have
the
to
first
get
is the
to-
best. But yeah.
You have to get to know that person and what they like and what you like, and
But
you
it's-
guys have to. You have to.
I'm raising
You
my
just
hand.
said that shit the other
I
day.
did, and I'm not going back on my word. But what I'm going to say is, I'm talking about he wasn't working with nothing.
Oh no! If he got an eater Peter weeder,
But
you're
how
gonna
you
feel
know if
that
you
through
ain't
the pants.
touching?
You
Well, you're gonna
you
feel that
gotta
shit
know.
through the sweatpants.
Yeah, you gotta,
okay, girl.
You gotta know
You
that.
got to do that. Like
Well,
you could be
I felt
celibate,
the
but
balls
don't
that
be
wasn't
Don't be
dumb.
dumb. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Be celibate, but don't be dumb.
Right? You could be. Oh yeah, no.
I mean, that's a trick, y'all women. Y'all
Yeah,
got that down. Like, right? Y'all got
That's
that
mine.
down.
That was mine. I
Look.
yeah. There's times. Yeah. You. I don't feel like you should base your sex life off of the first time.
No, and I agree.
You don't,
Because it's not always the best. And then it's like once you try it a few more times and you tell them, no, move more to the left, go like
Y'all
go a
coaching
little
y'all
slow.
coaching men how to have sex with you at this age? Like,
I
you
don't.
can't be doing that.
No, but
it's me. It's obviously because sometimes I get insecure. Like I'm like, okay, what if I'm overthinking? Like instead of like enjoying. So
Oh,
like I've
really?
done that before. Yeah.
You're overthinking?
Yeah, like I've done that. Like, what if I'm doing something he don't like? What if wait does he?
Fuck that
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
I don't think about
no.
none of that.
I do.
None of that.
I have, I have, and it like really just fucks.
Yeah,
But then that happened.
Yeah,
So
just
then
If
let
you
that-
think if you
let it
thinking too
ride.
much, it's gonna fuck
just-
everything up.
If you're not about to get yours, and
I'm
yeah,
being
no,
honest.
No,
You
no, no, no.
can't.
shit, I'm
You
being
can't.
honest.
So
Damn.
so initial conversation, you talking to somebody, you meet somebody, you guys been dating for a while, or are you telling them about me being celibate? Are you talking about that initially? Or are you saving that in your back pocket and you're gonna pull it out later?
I kind of gotta check his mental first. I have to see what he's about and what he's talking about first. Once I get to, get a little deeper into it, then that's when I'll bring it into place. But I definitely tell him, for sure.
Like,
If
I'm
you can't respect
celibate.
it, then I ain't.
How do you feel about that? Because if you have a problem with that, then we'll let the.
As a
Say it
man,
one time.
as a
Absolutely.
man, I feel like you guys should, if that's the road you're gonna take, which is fine, that's you. But you should tell a man up front. Like a man should know that, like when
First date.
Yeah.
first date,
Conversation.
first couple conversations. Yep, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. I take care of my kid. I work here, and then plus I'm celibate. Right? So, you gotta let
No,
him
for
know.
real. I've
Because
done that before.
You don't want to waste your time. Like you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste his time. His time, and it'll weed out all the dudes that's no good for you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So celibate. Have you been ghosted because you told somebody you were celibate? Like they're like, oh nah, I can't go back. Like I went out on a date with her. It was cool, and then she brought up that.
I
she's
haven't, but I
celibate.
know that it happens.
Nope, it has not happened. They trying to tear it down.
Have you,
Okay.
They trying to
hold
tear
on.
it down.
So they're actually coming back after you said you're going celibate, or have you not told anybody that
No,
you're
I have.
celibate? You
I
have.
have.
Okay.
Sometimes they think that they could just.
That's
they gonna
us.
change your
That's
mind.
men. That's what we do.
I'm gonna change your mind.
That's what men do. Hunters. We're hunters naturally. So that's what we think. We
Oh.
always think we gonna change your mind,
Yeah,
right?
they
And that's what I
trying to get
told
the
you.
meat.
That's why he's gonna hit your inbox like 4 or 5 times because he's a man. We're hunters, and we're gonna be like, hey, I could change her mind, and we have changed minds of plenty other women. So what makes you any different? And what makes celibacy any different than, I have a man? So he's going to keep hitting your inbox, just like he's going to come back for a second, third, fourth date maybe, because it's really not costing them much. A little bit of time, obviously they got that. We got that because we're making shit up all the time, and we find a way to do things that we want to do, right? So that being said,
this is good.
have you been ghosted? No.
How about no?
No. All right.
Not like, no, I actually recently was ghosted. That dude that was.
But was it because of, did you tell him you were celibate?
Oh, no, it wasn't because of that. No.
Okay. All right. So it's been working out.
What you mean? Oh, me saying that I'm celibate?
Yeah. Obviously, because you still
talking to
haven't got
you.
nobody, you still don't have no problems with no man.
Yeah. I'm chilling.
I stay away
Yeah, like.
because yeah. I just gotta stay away for the moment until my hormones go down.
Hey, so learn yourself. Be celibate if you need to. Don't do too much in the beginning, right? Especially if it's not reciprocated. If the feeling isn't mutual, if the energy isn't matching yours, just back up. Have a conversation. Figure out where you're going, what you need to do different, and learn that person that you're seeing, right?
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 2.
Click like.
Click share.
And subscribe. Don't
Hello.
Ooh,
forget. Hey.
get your life.
Day, what's our YouTube page?
Get your life, the podcast.
Woo! Heather, do we got IG?
You know what? I think we do.
What's that IG looking like?
Get your life
No, GY. All of it was
Everything-
changed to GYL the podcast.
Everything is GYL the podcast.
Because it
y'all.
all has to be in sync. We couldn't do Get Your Life _ the podcast on Twitter.
Oh, so that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure y'all follow us on every platform.
GYL
Subscribe to YouTube.
podcast.
Eric,
Yes.
Get Your Life. Y'all know how to find me.